Hey guys, we're looking at volume of cylinders, spheres, and cones word problems for 2.2. Let's get started. These are, word problems. So let's get rid of that stuff on the bottom. The gift shop at a science museum sells lollipops that are made to look like the planets. That's actually so cute. My son would go crazy for one of those. He loves lollipops. Anyway, each lollipop is shaped like a sphere. It has a radius of 12 millimeters. I wonder how big 12 millimeters is. Hopefully it's small. Hopefully it is sugar-free if my son is getting one. Okay, let's see. What is the volume of each lollipop? Okay, well, first of all, we definitely need a visual. So let's just draw like a cute little visual. Here we go. This is going to be a world lollipop. Look at that. 10 out of 10. Excellent drawing skills here that we can do in Khan Academy. All right. We have said lollipop ready to go. And they tell us that the radius is 12 millimeters. So I'm going to add that in. 12 millimeters. And we're asked to find the volume. So we do know that it is a sphere. So we would need volume of a sphere. And luckily we've got that from our notes. Volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. Remember, whenever we're trying to find volume of something, volume, the units are always cubed. If we're finding area, the units are always squared, but for volume, it's always cubed. So all we're doing is we're just plugging in. So 4/3 pi, instead of r, we're going to replace it with 12 because that's our radius. Remember, r stands for the radius. And they told us, hey, radius is 12. So we'll plug it in. And they do not give us a calculator here, but that's okay. I've got one. So let's check what that is. 12 cubed is 1,728. And then we're going to multiply that by 4 and also divide by 3. So times 4 divided by 3. And we get 2,304. And I'm going to leave it in terms of pi because they told us that's an option that we can do that. And then that just saves us an extra step. And it's the same answer. So why make our lives more difficult? So 2,304. And then we need to get pi. Let's just confirm 2,304. All right, let's check. Yay! That sounds really good now. I feel like we should try to find these at the store. That sounds really, really delicious. We might need a lollipop as a reward. Just saying, throwing it out there for finishing this video, right? Okay. As runners in a marathon, right, we went from lollipops to running, the natural course of events after, you feel guilty eating candy, I guess. As runners in a marathon go by, volunteers hand them small cone-shaped cups of water. That's so generous. The cups have the dimensions as shown. Abigail sloshes 2/3 of the water out of her cup before she gets a chance to drink any. Abigail, same girl, because if we're running and you've got like this cone filled with water, I mean, I don't know how we'd be running to lose 2/3 of it, but that it's understandable. She must have been really, really racing to lose that much water. But we're gonna figure out how much water is remaining. So it's actually a good problem because it requires a little bit more thinking. So I'm gonna just draw as just a little visual, a reminder for us that this is our cone. We only need 1/3, right? You guys are with me so far? We only need to find 1/3 of this volume because 2/3 is out of the cup. It is gone. It's done. Goodbye. So we just need 1/3 of the volume. So we're just kind of making a plan of attack here, getting ourselves prepped and ready to tackle the problem. All right, so might be helpful if we knew the volume of the entire thing, right? And then we could just multiply it by 1/3 to find that missing 1/3 volume. So that's what we're going to do for our plan. Remember, for volume of a cone, it's 1/3 of the volume of a cylinder. So 1/3 of pi r squared times the height. So pi r squared, that's the area of the base times the height. But if we stopped there, area of base times height is going to give us a cylinder, but we need a cone. Again, just adding that, making sure in our formula we have that 1/3. So it's a third of a third, really. It's a 1/9 of a cylinder. Interesting. Okay, anyways, let's just plug it in and then we'll get to other stuff later. 1/3 pi, instead of r, that's, remember, our radius. R stands for radius, h stands for the height. And they gave us, right, r and h. So we're just gonna plug it in. 1/3 pi of r, which is 3 squared times the height times 8. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 8 should be 72, but now I'm doubting myself, so we're gonna double check. Yep, 72. 1/3 of that, so we're gonna divide that by 3. That's gonna give us 24 pi. So this is what we just found. This is the volume. We can even draw like a little cone. This is the volume of the entire cone. Cool, but we don't want the entire cone. We just want a third of this. So we're gonna need to take that total, and one last step, we're gonna need to divide it by 3. Divide it by 3, because remember, she lost 2/3 of the water. 2/3 is gone. So we only have 1/3 remaining. That's why we are dividing it by 3. And that should give us 8 pi as our final answer. That is the amount of water, amount of volume remaining in her cup. 8 pi, and we'll check. Hooray! I hope this video helped give you a start. Actually, we didn't do one with spheres yet. Is there a sphere? Let me skip. Let me see if there's one. The sphere. Cylinder? No. Okay. We'll stop here. If you guys have any questions, as always, let me know. Canvas inbox. That's it. Have a great rest of your day, and I hope, again, this helped give you at least a start for this problem. I'm just remembering too, we did a sphere already, so ignore me. You know what? Actually, I know I was saying the video is going to end, but we did sphere, we did cone. This one's cylinder, and we're here. We might as well just do this one too. So if you are done, you're feeling confident, you're welcome to shut this off. If you're still with me, you're still struggling, we're gonna go through this one so you've got another sample. Okay, so Gus has a fish tank that holds 4,710 cubic inches of water. Wow. He is using a cylinder-shaped bucket with a radius of 5 inches and a height of 20 inches to fill the tank. Okay, so let's get our visual. He's got a bucket. The radius is 5 inches and the height is 20 inches. We need to know how many bucketfuls of water does he need to completely fill the fish tank, assuming he doesn't spill anything, right? There's no allowances for human error. Sorry, Gus. All right, so let's check. We might first need to see what even is this volume. That might be helpful. So volume of a cylinder, it's the area of our base, area of a circle, times height. So pi r squared times h. We just plug it in. Pi times r squared times h. So that's going to be 25 times 20, which is 500 pi. Now, because we are given an exact amount, usually I leave it in terms of pi. That's what I've been doing for the rest of this video. But that's not very helpful for us. So I'm going to plug this in the calculator, and that gives us 1,570. 1,570. All right, we want to know how many buckets he needs to fill up, right? So we're going to take the total amount, 4,710, and divide it by 1,570. 4,710 divided by 1,570. Oh my gosh, you guys, it goes in evenly 3 times. Look at us. That's pretty cool. Nice. Check. Yay. All right. Again, any questions, let me know. I hope this helped at least give you a start, an idea of what to do. But that's it for this video. All right, thanks for watching.